Welcome back to Just 2 Minutes, Just a Mishnah. This Mishnah is the Nishmas, Fredele Basorchel, Neschus of Eritzak Ben Gila, and the Frost, Terba Servish, the Fushlema. So Mesachas Kiddushin Perak Gimel, Mishnah Ches, and Mishnah Tes, Kiddash Yespiti, Kiddashtia, Vigirashtia, Kshi Ktana, Varei Ktana Neman. So if someone says, I engaged my daughter, or I engaged her, and I got her divorced while she was still a Ktana, V'harehi ktana neman, and so if she's still a ktana, she's still under bas mitzvah, then we believe him. Kidashtia v'gerashtia k'shi ktana. If he says that he married her off and divorced her while she was under bas mitzvah, v'harei g'dayla, and now she's over bas mitzvah, sorry, in an neman, so then we don't believe him, because then if it would be true, so then she wouldn't be allowed to marry a kohen, and we don't trust him to be usher his daughter to someone, because in this case then he would be usher her for marrying a kohen, because she would have been previously married. Nishbeis upedisia ben shiktana ben shigdela in an eman. If she was captured by non-Jews and he freed her, so whether or not she's under bas mitzvah, over bas mitzvah, so we don't believe him, because then she's not allowed to get married. So we don't believe him. She is allowed to get married, just she isn't a basula anymore, so it's going to be hard for her to get married, so we don't believe him about that. Misha Amar B'Shas Misasa Yeshli Banim Ne'eman Yeshli Achim Einu Ne'eman. If as someone's dying he says, I have sons, meaning so now his wife won't have to do yibum, so then we believe him. But if he says I have brothers, which is going to make his wife have to do yibum, so then we don't believe him. Basically we only believe him when he's giving something, not when he's trying to take away. If someone is Mekadesh, one of his daughters, and he doesn't specify which, so then it's not even a question. None of the older ones are even included in the question, and we just have to check about the younger ones. If someone has two sets of daughters from two wives, and he just said, I'm engaging to you to some person. He says to some man, I'm engaging to you my oldest daughter, and he's not sure which one he meant. He's not sure whether he meant the oldest of the first group or the oldest of the second group, the oldest of the younger ones or the oldest of the older ones. Sorry, or maybe it's the youngest one out of the oldest, out of the second group, maybe it's the youngest out of the older group, because then she's older than the other ones, because she's older than the oldest ones of the younger ones. So none of them are allowed to marry this person, except for the youngest of the youngest, because it's definitely not considered her. It's according to Rabbi says that they're all allowed to, except for the oldest of the oldest. If someone says, I'm engaging to you my youngest daughter, and he doesn't know if he meant the youngest of the youngest, or the youngest of the oldest, or the oldest of the youngest, because then because then she's still younger than the youngest ones of the older ones. So that none of them are allowed to marry him, except because we don't know who it is, except for the oldest out of the oldest, because it's definitely not talking about her. Rabbi says they're all allowed to marry him, except for the youngest of the youngest, because he says it's definitely talking about her. And those are today's Mishnayos.